Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Share Your Grinn. This was a series that I made a while back because I wanted to share movies that I loved, TV shows that I wanted to talk about, as well as like anything that I thought would be fun that didn't really fit into gaming or media or whatever. So I made this, kind of a cheesy pun on the name and all that. But with just things happening, I'm getting way more into like video stuff and book reading and stuff like that. I guess, and I do book stuff, but books take such a long time to read. So yeah, the series has been this kind of weird lull period. So I wanted to kind of bring it back and kind of really embrace the name of the series, which is Share Your Grinn, or in this case, Share whatever Grinn happens to be interested in, which, hi, my name's Grinn. And again, this might be super not for you, just because we may have different interests in different things that we gravitate to and all these things. That's totally okay. But, ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to talk your ear off about Wim Hof. Not only Wim Hof, but essentially what it is that he practices and stuff like that. So first things first, let me get some coffee. Okay, I'm not sure about you guys, but one of the things that I don't know, I just kind of feel I try to be a little careful with, because I listen to a lot of podcasts and I hear a lot of people who seem to kind of be, I don't know what the nice way to phrase it, but they're a little up their own ass, a little bit about the way they think and all these kinds of things. And to me, I find in this specific kind of community, which is the like yoga, chakras, shit, community, there's a lot of snake oil salesmen. Now, yes, there are people who maybe truly found solace in something. Absolutely, I don't want to take away that from them. But there are also some people trying to like make a shit ton of money by selling you a trick that is seemingly a placebo effect. And here enters Wim Hof. And then everyone kind of goes silent. So for those guys who do not know who Wim Hof is, and I'm by the way, I'm so open to criticism, like different information coming here. That's kind of also why I want to talk to you guys about it, and also why I want to look into it with you guys, because maybe I'll Google like what are the negatives of doing this and that, and I'll be like, oh, maybe this is an egg on my face. Yay, yikes! But I don't think that's going to be this case for this, because there's so many people who I've already heard of stuff about, and I feel like you would have heard if this was truly negative for you. What is that, Grinn? We'll get into it. Sorry. So, enters in Wim Hof. Who is Wim Hof, Grinn? And why is he not part of the whole snake oil salesman about yoga? Not that yoga's not good. Again, I'm not talking about like the benefit. I'm talking about there's a specific kind of person who seems manipulative as fuck. Like we've all heard stories about like how a yoga instructor or some sort of like dude who runs $1 million company is just like a creep, total creep to his secretaries and all these things. So there's like a different angle of power in this weird like, I am enlightened and I could give you so much, and it's like creepy red flags, people. Everybody, frankly, yikes. The reason why Wim Hof is not like this, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, again, I'm open to being wrong, but this man, Wim Hof, is a absolute maniac freak, which is why you should listen to him. That's, well, maybe not, but maybe not by those standards, but the man is absolutely incredible. He has essentially done like so many impossible feats, like David Blaine level of shit, except even beyond that to some extent. So for instance, we call Wim Hof. If you guys may have heard him a while back, I remember seeing him on Joe Rogan a while back talking about how he basically was able to like get into a freezing cold pond and stay there for like 4 hours and be fine or something crazy. You're like, wait. People say that like in really like, I'm not sure about you guys, but in Canada we hear about if you fall into a lake in freezing cold water, you have like 10 minutes or something before you die or something, before your heart like just stops because of the sheer cold. And here's this guy going in like ice lakes and just being absolutely fine. What's that about? And then you see him do other things, like being able to control the body heat on his skin specifically. So like again, this is stuff like you see in like amazing monks do, where they take a wet cloth and they drape it over a monk's back, and it starts steaming almost because they're also in a fucking mountain where it's frozen, and they're able to generate heat just on their back to an incredible degree. So how the hell does someone possess that level of body control? And of course, for the monks, it's like, okay, well, this guy had to sit on top of a mountain and go deep into his actual body's ability to do things and find out how to trigger those things, right? We're not done. But then here's Wim Hof going a little bit beyond even that to some extent with this crazy ice challenges. Like, I think he scaled Mount Everest or some weird shit. And I'm open for people to correct me on all these, but I think he scaled or climbed up Mount Everest with his shorts on, going to the summit or whatever where oxygen was low and all these other things. Now, to me, a lot of you guys could be like, okay, he's just a freak, right? Or like, he's just impressive. I don't mean anything I ever say in negative ways. I mean, when I say freak, I mean he's like an oddity, an amazing, weird, gifted human being. But then he does stuff like this, which is a little bit different. I think this kind of a good way to kind of tell you guys why this guy, to me at least, is someone you should look at. Or be interested in what the heck's going on. Apparently, and if I'm reading, I watched a lot of podcasts with him, so this is me just like echoing what he says. So throughout the entire course of this man's career, what happens with people who are doing amazing feats, a lot of people try to go find them and say, okay, well, are you full of shit? Like, I'll be the journalist that shows this guy's a liar. But didn't happen with Wim Hof. Nothing like that happened to Wim Hof. So then a bunch of intelligent people in academia came and actually tried to study him, and they seen that there was these crazy things going on within his body. Like, he was able to actually increase his body temperature just by almost will, which is incredible. And then all of these other things that he was just able to kind of do, and people were like, okay. And it's funny because people in academia were like, oh, okay, you're just an amazing kind of unique human being, cool. And then he's like, no, I'm not. I just do these specific things, and I can train anyone to do the same thing that I can. And then people in academia were like, are you serious? Okay, do that then, and we'll see. And lo and behold, that's what he did. And one of his most famous, at least for me, things that he did is he injected himself with lethal poison, and was fine. Had no negative response, didn't get hurt, nothing. Was absolutely fine with his poison being in his system. Crazy. But then the crazier thing is that he trained, I think, like 10 or 5 students a couple weeks later to be able to do the same thing, and they were able to do it. Again, there's such a big business in like, you're wrong. Like, oh, I'm gonna get you, and this crazy man's like, come at me, come at me, and no one has gotten close because he's actually doing it. It's like when you think, oh wow, what's the trick? And like David Blaine's a great example. It's like, what's the trick, David? And there's no trick. This man's literally just done incredible feats, like stabbing a thing through his whole arm. Not Wim Hof, David Blaine. Anyways, we're getting a little bit all over the place. So Wim Hof, this amazing individual, it seems, who's found out how to do the like in crazy body things, like to be able to like inject lethal poison within yourself, and without any sort of medical attention or anything, is able to somehow make the poison seem like nothing. Who's able to jump into freezing cold water, and where most people would die, he stays alive, and he can train other people to do the exact same thing. What's happening? What is his secret, so to speak, and what did he train and teach those students to get them to be able to do the same thing that he could? What's happening? Apparently, from what he says, and I'm not sure if this is the entire pie, but he says it's his breathing technique and it's his relationship with cold showers and cold baths, ice baths, stuff like that. So let's get into that. So first of all, if you guys don't know anything about me, I'm really big into the if there's something that I can do now that can increase my health and or general health right now, I'll do it. The reason why is because I would like to be in this world for longer, not because of for me, but because of the loved ones that I may meet, my future children if I'm lucky enough to have them, my future wife if I'm lucky enough to meet her, all of these things. So I try to stay as healthy as I possibly can be, because if I die tomorrow, I don't want to have any doubt in any of the current loved ones' minds that I have around me, nor my future ones, if that was ever something that happened. If I were to die, I don't want there to be doubt that I didn't try my hardest to stay here. So anything that can increase my health in life, I try to seek. Boom, bam, Wim Hof. Let's see what he does, and is it reasonable? Is it something that a normal human being can do, or is this some sort of weird, you have to have this vitamin or whatever, right? What is it in order to gain these benefits and to maybe be able to be healthy or be good, better, all these things? Well, It's a breathing technique, and his relationship with showers is what he says is a huge part of it. Now, is that the whole pie? I don't know. But let's get in. But the breathing exercises anybody can do, and the cold showers anyone can do, or the cold baths, anything. Everyone can do that. Cool. Let's get into it. This is kind of a cool synopsis of what his breathing technique is, and it's really easy just to memorize. So a quick rundown, just in case you guys want to try it. I will try to link his guided Wim Hof Method breathing kind of thing. It's really pretty chill to do, and you'll at least for me, you'll feel an effect. So the first thing is sit down or lay down, because you guys are going to understand what's going to happen if you can pay attention to what's going on. Okay, so the breathing method is 30 breaths in and out. So like 1, 2, 30. Grinn, you're like, I'm hyperventilating. I'm gonna like overload my brain with oxygen. Well, that's not good. Okay, wait. So 30 breaths. That's the first part. The second part is to empty your lungs and hold your breath for as long as you can possibly go. Now, at first, you're probably not gonna be able to go that far. Sorry. So hold your breath for as long as you possibly can. One of the things that he coins, which I love, is go without force, which means if you're sitting there, you don't want to sit there and hold your breath and like introduce panic into your body. You're going to want to keep yourself absolutely calm. And also, if you can, in the time when you're holding your breath, try to really connect with the inside of your body, almost like the mechanisms of your whole structure. So that's for me, it sounds a little nutty, and again, I'm putting myself out there. I may sound like a lunatic. I'm absolutely open to the fact that I'm like it's a placebo effect, whatever. I feel like I'm having benefits, so I'm gonna keep going with that placebo effect. I end up holding my breath, and when I'm sitting there, I can actually hear my heartbeat without me doing this or like trying to like put my pulse on my hand, nothing like that. So I can hear my heartbeat. And it's weird because it's not here. Like, I don't hear my heartbeat. I don't feel my heartbeat. It's this weird sense in between where it's like, well, no, it's a part of my system. So of course I can, if I focus, I can feel this part of my system do the thing that I know it's going to do, which is ba-dump, so that, and then he goes on to like do other things, which I think is how he got to the place where he could actually control certain mechanisms within his body, like in temperature, like being able to like overload the body so that it cleanses itself, being able to keep your body relaxed so it doesn't go into a panic state, instead it just deals with issues on it by itself, which is the idea that again you're getting within this time gap of you doing 30 breaths, holding your breath, you're kind of stuck in this la la land, this kind of like empty void in a sense, where you can really connect and feel your whole kind of self, which sounds really weird, I know. Anyways, I should go over the breathing technique again. I stopped halfway through. 30 breaths, hold for as long as you can. I personally empty my entire lungs when I hold. Then, this is the other important part. When you're done, when you finally choose, okay, I gotta eventually take a breath, I can't hold my breath any longer, you breathe in and count to 15 seconds. So 15 seconds. So 30 breaths in, hold, I can't hold my breath anymore, hold for 15 seconds. And then after 15 seconds, you exhale, and then you can go and do the same thing. Loop it. That's one round, then you would just keep doing it. And he suggests 3 rounds per day. That's the happy medium. And of course, there's 2 guided breathing methods, one on his YouTube channel that is a minute to a minute 30, and then the beginner one is 30 seconds to a minute. I'm at the point where I can go to a minute, or I can go to minute 30 to 2 minutes, and I'm hoping to increase that because I like the competitive nature of that. Anyways, so that's the breathing technique, and that's a little bit more involved of a thing. And this is, again, if anyone, again, this is me sharing what I'm currently interested in, what the spice of life in my life right now is currently going on, and to me, I've seen incredible benefits of this. If you guys can do 3 rounds, it is weird as shit. Now, also, we're probably going to go into what's happening with, like, because I have his website queued up here, which is going to show us, like, or, like, have him read off what's going on. But from what I understand, there's no, like, damage taking place. If we were to keep breathing and hyperventilating, then that would be a problem, I think. But it's because we're doing 30 breaths, we're emptying our lungs and we're holding our breath. So you're basically signaling to your body that, okay, here's an abundance of oxygen, But then you're also signaling, okay, wait, now there's no oxygen coming in, so we need to ration this heavy amount of oxygen in our body. That way there's no negative, because it's balancing it out in a weird way of you breathing in a lot, you having a lot of oxygen, but then telling your body, wait, there's no more oxygen coming in, ration this, and be okay. Now, apparently this is great for like clearing inflammation, which is amazing, as well as it gets you into a really zoned in state of mind. Like, it gets you into a hyper state of relaxation, at least for me. And apparently there's a lot of benefits. We're going to get into it, but I want to go over the other thing that I've also been doing. So I've been doing this, by the way, every single morning. Apparently he says to do it on an empty stomach. I don't know if that's because people in the past have just fucking puked or what. I haven't felt anything like that. I will say, though, if you're going to start doing this, you want to give this a whirl, 30 seconds or 30 breaths, around like the 10th to maybe 15th breath, you'll feel your body kind of start to be like, what's happening? This is not normal. You might feel like a little hot flash. You may feel like a little odd. For me, I just push through it, and yeah, it's not like it's just literally your body being like, oh, we're getting oxygen, baby. What do we do? So that's it. It's just a little bit of oddness. It's not even discomfort, I would say. It's just like you feel like sometimes a weird change in temperature. And then the other thing that he suggests, which is huge, which is the benefits of cold showers. Now, with that being said, it's not like, at least I don't think, maybe it eventually will work up that way, but I've heard this all the time. I'm sure if you watch podcasts or anything like that, you've heard someone be like, a cold shower is the best, it wakes you up. But apparently there's a lot more scientific data about like what the benefits of this cold shower are, and I'm probably going to look into them in a couple minutes here. But Wim Hof's whole like method, which to me is like super good. Like, again, my favorite part is that all of these seem to be really reasonable for you to at least start. And again, you can increase your intensity. You can hold your breath for maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, in this breathing technique if you want. That's something to work up to, I think. And Wim Hof says what you should start with is not just jumping into the deep end and just freezing your whole body with a freezing cold shower, but instead to have your nice warm shower. Most of us have a shower every day or every other day, whatever. So have your nice warm shower, and then at the very end of your shower, crank it to as cold as it can possibly go and count to 30. 30 seconds. Hold for 30 seconds. So that's the baseline, but then he goes a step further and he's like, okay, well, next time you do it, try to envision your skin's like closing up, and almost pay attention when you're in the freezing cold shower, what the effect is on your actual body, which if you're your organs come closer. If you're a man, your balls fucking and one of the things that he says, breathing is like everything almost. So like in this state, your body's going to want to react in a panicked way. When you get in a cold water, people always go like you're just frozen, right? And it creates this like kind of panicked, short of breath kind of thing. And I don't know if this is right or not, but I try to regulate my breathing so I never have that. So I'm just completely calm. I'm just like, and it's like freezing cold water. It feels like little daggers stabbing into your body, especially, well, actually, no. It is significantly, I like this method a lot because it's like, hey, you can have your nice warm shower, wash your body, have a formal fine time, but then there's this little bit of anxiety, this little bit of hell waiting for you, this little bit of stress at the very end, after you've already had your nice, long, like warm, lovely shower. Here's this little thing that's like, hey, it's not going to be great, but it's 30 seconds. A lot of people can stomach 30 seconds of a little bit of a miserable time if it means for the betterment of the rest of your day or the rest of your life, maybe, because it has, I think, a lot of benefits, which we're going to go look into. So that's tier 1, is like to try to control your breath and count to 30 and just like seal up your body. Almost try to like do that before you actually get into the cold, is tell your body like, hey, we're going to get in the cold. Come on, body, get close, seal up. Hey, skin, close, keep warm, all these kind of things, and then you go into it. And then the third step is to start with a cold shower, and then you can have your hot shower after the fact. But to start with a cold shower, that way it's like, and this is him. He even talks about how this is more of a mental game, a mental suffering rather than like actual benefit. At least I think. So he talks about the idea of like, okay, it's way harder to get into a cold shower, fucking torture yourself, and then go to hot. And I honestly, I don't know if it's better that way. Yeah, because I feel like when you end your shower and it's cold, it leaves you in this weird like zen state of like, especially if you didn't let your panic set in, because I think that's the thing that you're trying to fight when you're dealing with cold showers. You're not trying to have panic set in where it's just like, oh God, and you just start to like, your anxiety starts getting, it's like, no, control your anxiety, bring it down, focus on your breath, breathe. There it is. 1, 2, there it is. Like, just really like this weird sense of control, or like, understanding of oneself and your body and all these things. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, so that's a quick synopsis of Wim Hof, as well as what I've been doing for the last like 2 weeks, I want to say, is the breathing technique as well as the cold showers. And the coolest part is that when you first get hit with that cold shower, even if you have like a nice hot shower, it's just painful. Like, you're just sitting there like, fuck, God, this sucks. It sucks so much. Why am I doing this? And then you finish the shower and you're like, I feel great. I feel like zen out of my mind. I feel focused. I feel at peace. Okay, and I feel like I recover greater too, because I work out quite a bit. So yeah. But then, like, I just had one last night, and I am like, it's been progressively getting better and better because I'm starting to, I understand it now. I'm getting like the idea of, okay, and it's kind of weird because how my mind works. I just got a weird imagination, but I literally imagine my skin as like turning into like armor plating, like almost my body was like, hey skin, hey body, hey everything, you ready for this? And then I start going through like the memory of the cold water hitting me and being like, okay, that's what I'm gonna have to go through. And it's almost like my body starts reacting to that memory, almost getting ready to get smashed. And then it hits me and I'm like, this is less bad. And it's also cool things like you actually see the mechanisms in your body work where like your skin will literally seal up. Like when you start to sweat, your pores will open and try to like exude heat out of you. Whereas when you're cold, your skin seals up. And I can actually see that because when I turn the nozzle on the shower to be freezing cold, it hits my skin first, and then I'll start to like spin around and get it all over me, basically get my body completely covered in the cold water, and then when I get out of the shower, I'll notice on my chest I have this like red mark, and it's because that's where the water hits, but then your body immediately seals up, and then my right chest should also have this red mark, which is like this freezing cold water hitting it, but it's because that signals to the rest of your body, oh fuck, seal up and like block in this cold kind of thing. Anyways, enough of me gushing about this. I actually wanted to jump into like the data, and I haven't actually read a lot of the stuff on his website, but I also do want to read if there's any sort of negative thing about this breathing method or any sort of criticism that I missed. But again, the only thing that makes me a little wary, like not sure about the whole, like him being a fraud, is that he's been on a lot of podcasts. He's also done things that are like impossible. So like, he's a really weird con artist if that's the case, which is what leads me to believe that he's not a con artist in the slightest. Talks about how breathing is the most instrumental part of the atomic nervous system. Yeah, and this is his breathing technique. Probably should have brought you guys here, which is get to a comfortable spot. You don't want to get like weird and pass out or some horrible shit. The 30 breaths in, there it is, and then you hold, and then you have a recovery breath for 15 seconds. That's the method. This is the man in the freezing cold doing things like a wild man. Okay, so this is the physical health benefits from doing a lot of the things that I think he preaches, which is a boost your immune system. Okay, well, this is actually pretty interesting. I don't think this is him saying, do this and not do masks. Okay? Followers of Wim Hof have a stronger immune response to pathogens and compared to others. Interesting. Ensure you get enough sleep. Fair enough. Follow a healthy diet. Fair enough. Exercise regularly. Fair enough. Avoid chronic stress. Fair enough. Vitamin D. Fair enough. Support good bacteria. Good. Okay, these are just like general health things. General health things. Interesting. Okay, so this is the 3 pillars of his whole situation, which is breathing, exposure to cold, and of course commitment. Staying on those two fronts. Interesting. I also heard someone say like that it was this one thing that like in his brain, they put him up to a test and they were actually able to see that he was able to lower like inflammation within his brain, which is something that like no human being can do, period. So the fact that he was able to go into this special thing and lower inflammation in this specific kind of part of his brain, with scientists were just like, what the fuck? It doesn't seem, what? It's just stupid, what? Ooh, more energy. I actually want to know this. By following method, a lot of this is like an advertising, like, more energy, Wim Hof, boosted immune system, Wim Hof. I'm like, all right, guys, I get it. What is it? What's happening? Yeah, this also just seems like hilarious stuff, which is like, drink more, idiot, which is true. If you're stressed out all the time, that's probably why you're tired. Your body's having to deal with that chronic stress, which, by the way, that breathing technique can kind of very much help with stress relief is what it also said when I was looking up stuff. And you don't exercise. A lot of these are just like general health things, but I wish they would like cycle it back to it. The breathing, which I think is what he does quite a little bit, because I think it's like the fundamental of like, again, understanding one's body. And like, again, if you do the breathing thing, I feel like that was one of the things I first keyed into, is this weird, like, because you're not breathing, because all this other stuff is stopped, you're able to almost see the mechanics in your body. I feel like I'm just talking like a bunch of fucking nonsense, but it's just weird like mental shit that you're kind of getting the thing of, ooh, better sleep, 90% of us need this shit, oh my god, look at that. Optimize your security, yeah, sleep, go to, yeah, exercise, yeah, optimize your diet, yeah, your proper stress management, again, the breathing stuff can help with that, it seems like. Hey, exposure to light and optimize your bed. Exposure to light I think is huge. I just found that out recently. That helped me quite a lot. Jesus, they're laying on fucking ice or like snow and they're in shorts. Rough. Anyway, yeah, so there's just a lot of shit here. With mental health benefits, yeah, there's reduced stress, all these things. Lots of stuff like that. Again, like I'm not sure if Wim Hof Method is just him being a teacher, just being like, hey, these are things I found out. Vitamin D, good for immune system. Like, okay, sure. But the breathing method seems to be, again, his whole thing, and this is kind of like my understanding, but it's him talking about the autonomic nervous system, which is, to me, I think just like your understanding, like not your understanding, like an actual mechanism within your brain. But now, let's do it. Let's break my heart. Okay, I typed in Wim Hof negative effects. Side effect of Wim Hof. Yeah, Hof has worked with scientists to gain credibility. Scientists are learning how Wim Hof's breathing technique affects the brain and metabolic activity, inflammation, pain. More research needs to be understand how method works. Scientists need to learn if the result are due to the breathing exercises, meditations, or cold exposure. Yeah, the techniques revolve around retaining a breath, meditation, and immune system. Wim Hof Method Benefits. Here we go. Boosted immune system. Concentration. That's true. I feel like concentration is pretty on point. Improve your mental well-being. Improve. Come on, hit me with negative ones. Energy, all this. Stress. I see stress. Improve in sleep. Maybe. I started doing this and I started having better sleeps. That could be. Huh. That was related. That actually correlates exactly with my better sleep schedule. Anyways, whatever. Online Wim Hof Method training, all this. Nothing negative. Hit him. Hit him, someone. Don't hit him, but I think he's great. I believe him. I'm just trying to see, like, genuinely if there's any sort of thing. Okay, my experience. After just 2 weeks, even sooner, I could feel the benefits of practicing Wim Hof. The benefits of the person just fucking on cloud nine. Feel overwhelmed and depleted. Your body feels rejuvenated now. I can do this. Mindset and boost your oxygen and my muscles. Okay. Oh, okay. The only negative side effect I experienced, and only occasionally, was a lightheadedness and a worse, some nausea in the short term following the breathing exercise. This didn't always occur, and it varied in its intensity for whatever reason. It was worse when I did the breathing exercise lying down. Oh, and it dissipated in a couple hours, though. That actually reminds me. When I first did the whole breathing method, I do, like, when you first do it, I should have mentioned this at the top. I just remembered. When I first did it, I did feel like this, it's not like a headache. It's like this slight, it's like this slight little, like, buzz in the back of your head, because, again, what you're doing is you're overloading your body with oxygen, so your body does feel like the feeling of lightheadedness. But every single day that I did it after that fact, it got significantly less. Like the third day, I didn't even feel any sort of siren go off in my head, and my body was like, what's happening? This is not normal. This is weird. Why do we have so much oxygen in our body right now? This is not, yeah. And then finally, it's like, okay, no, we're okay. Like, this didn't hurt us beforehand. We don't need to send any signals of badness or negativity to your head. Yeah, something that also a lot of people talk about is the idea that, like, there's no way I can get, like, do the cold shower. It's too much. And they do it. It's like, hell, look at you. You can do it. And then there's this other aspect of them being like, oh, I can never hold my breath for 2 minutes. Are you kidding me? I better hold my breath for like 30 seconds. What? And then you can do it. So, like, it's this idea of, like, hey, you can get shit done. You're capable. All right? All that stuff. What? What the fuck? Are you shitting me? I can't. This has gotta be a fucking shit post. I typed, this guy's like, hey, Is anyone aware of any negative physiological effects of Wim Hof's cold and exercise and breathing? And then this guy says, Ben Greenfield took it to an extreme and pooped his pants after 20 minutes of swimming in ice water. How does that even happen? What gives you the urge to shit when you're frozen like that? Also, 20 minutes in the fucking water, that's an ice water, that's a fucking crazy. Anyways, I took the breathing to an extreme and hyperventilated from 500 breaths. 30 already makes me feel a little woozy. Fucking 500 breaths instead of 40. Yeah, 30 or 40 is what he says. And my muscles froze up and became temporarily paralyzed. Okay, guys, listen. Please don't do fucking 500 breaths like a lunatic. Don't even do fucking 100 breaths. 30 is more than enough. 40 if you want to hold your breath for longer, I feel. I've done 40 before, and I felt like I could easily make it to 20. That's fucking insane. What are people doing? But anyways, he says, I can't really blame these things on Wim Hof, though. No kidding. What are you doing? I hate this shit so much. I fucking hate it. I just can't. I was going to look into more negative, but then they're like, do you want to sign up? You got to sign up. And I'm like, I'm not giving you my fucking email, you fucking idiot. You fucking nonsense moron. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I can't really find shit. Also this, benefits, breathing exercises, benefits, help with your heart rate, help with your nervous system, help with your music. All of this, honestly, my immune system's already weird because I'm taking like vitamin D as well as a bunch of other fucking weird, vitamins. I also exercise quite a bit, so my whole body is kind of on like a sense of a stressed out always. But the breathing technique has helped me a lot with like just, it feels like a good reset. And that's kind of like the whole thing that I felt like if you ever feel sluggish or kind of dazed or like just like your body's just not listening anymore, it almost feels like it's full of sludge. I feel like that quite a bit, and I think it's largely because of I exercise 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Sorry. So my body's like, I'm tired, I'm done, and I'm like, well, we're still gotta do stuff, so stop being sluggish. And this breathing technique thing helps me quite a bit, and also the shower thing helps me with recovery. But also, to me, they're pretty tame things to do, in my experience. Like, it's not like it's asking you to spend $100. It's like, no, you can do this free right now. You can do this without anything. He also has an app, and he does sell, like, I think it's him just vibing out in a classroom, doing it like every week. So that's it. I think he gives like more or less everything for free, which is really nice. This is interesting. What happens during the Wim Hof breathing technique? When you breathe in, we take in oxygen and carbon dioxide from the blood. Okay, so all of this is probably what I should have read at the beginning, but I didn't see it. But it's basically going over what's happening. Like for people who are like, I don't think this is safe. I think this is the like actual written up by like scientists who are like doing studies of him and asking him like what's happening and why are you able to do this and why? Because again, I think so many people have tried to break him, like have tried to go to Wim Hof and be like, this is dangerous, and they're like. They go to scientists and they're like, is this dangerous? And they're like, actually, no. It's not. I mean, it's not showing any sort of negative thing. And in fact, he's able to like walk off poison. So that's a lot. It seems like something that people should maybe look into. But anyways, what I was saying was the thing that interests me quite a bit is that this seems really, really, again, you don't have to give up your hot shower. Just at the very end, crank it to cold and last for 30 seconds. Embrace the tiny stress of it all until it becomes not stress and becomes, instead of the anxiety, you can change your brain to think of it's not anxiety, it's not negative, it's not bad. And then just walk on through, and when it's done, you'll feel like an energy boost as well as a serenity, and you'll be good to go. And with the breathing technique, it's almost the same thing, except you understand a little bit more about like the mechanisms going on in your body. I say that in terms of my anecdotal experience about how I feel. As of my like stress levels, my like general mood, I found stabilized quite a bit. I don't know about my nervous system and all that stuff. I think I understand more every single time I do it about like I can feel my heartbeat. I can kind of convince myself to get more and more calm, which is my mind alone, which is interesting. Because I think there's less clutter when you're holding your breath. Again, just try it. That's all I'll say. Or don't, because maybe you found evidence that's like sketched you out, and you're like, no, Grinn, this is bad. And I'll love to hear about it. I am definitely not sold on anything ever. But this dude, I think, is by far, if you're gonna bet on anyone, even if you're a skeptic, I think this is pretty. Again, it's just a weirdo who can do half of the stuff that he can do, but also get other people to do the same thing. At that point, it's not like him being special, it's about him doing something special. And it's awesome that he kind of gave it to the world for free. Shout out to Wim Hof. By the way, this whole thing, on the 0.1% chance that Wim Hof would ever say is, I think he's fantastic and wonderful, and he's fucking a hype man like there's like no other. I'm just saying all this stuff like a free, just because I feel like there's a lot of people who are coming to this. Like, my personal thoughts, he seems wonderful. I'm so happy this stuff has made the 2 weeks that I've been trying it absolutely amazing, and I'm gonna keep doing it, because if something is good for its first 2 weeks, I don't know why I wouldn't keep doing it, because it's good. It's good for me. It's same thing. I exercise for 6 days a week, and I've been doing that for like 5 years. I don't know why. And I started doing that just by surviving 2 weeks, and then you just keep going. But anyways, this is kind of what we're going to probably turn into Share Your Grin. Is anything that I fancy, or anything that's my current interest at the time, and y'all give a shit, you might want to jump in and hear me ramble about it for quite a while. But this was Wim Hof, going over his breathing method and his the idea of cold showers. But not also, you don't need to have like a complete cold shower, I think, to get a great benefit from cold showers. I think you can just survive for 30 seconds, and your body will learn how to seal up, bring its organs closer, and not get better at handling a cold and the shock to the system, which is good. Your body kind of wants stress to some extent to keep muscles activated, like the ability for you to close up your skin to close up and stuff like that. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to do your own research. I just thought it was really interesting, and it's something that I've been doing. And also, I really want to know if people have tried it. Because to me, when I first did it, I was just like, this is some trippy ass shit. This is some weird shit, doing the 3 rounds of that breathing thing. You're kind of like, ooh. But I will say, the first time I did feel like a slight fuzziness in my head, because it is you're intaking a lot of oxygen. But again, every single time you do that, your body starts to realize, oh, this is fine. This is not like a negative thing for us. This is not like something to panic over. In fact, maybe it starts really recognizing that this is a good thing to do every now and again. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. Sorry for this being quite a long video. Hopefully I cut down a lot of it. Thank you again. And let me know what you guys think again. Criticism, everything. Let me hear about it. Thank you, and goodbye.